let's continue. As you remember, we have been learning a little bit about certain objects that cannot be counted using numbers, right? Those are called uncountable nouns. Let's review a little bit. First of all, I would like to share with you some ideas regarding these special objects. So let's check over here. If you remember, we were talking about these special object or ideas that cannot be counted using numbers. Those are called uncountable nouns, as opposed to countable nouns. Countable nouns are easy to count, easy to assign quantities to them, especially physically, you can see them and differentiate one from another. Like eggs are countable, fries, carrots, they are like units, well-defined units that you can tell the beginning and the end of each one, so you can count the second and the third. No. Uncountable nouns, on the other hand, are hard to count. For example, liquids, like milk, you cannot really count or realize when one, I don't know, molecule of milk starts and finishes, so the next starts and finishes because they are liquids, so they are not units. Or for example, grains of salt, they are too small, too tiny to count one by one, so it's uncountable. Meat is like a whole unit of milk, so you cannot differentiate when one muscle of the animal starts or ends, etc. Grains of rice are too small, or honey, once again, it's kind of creamy, liquidy, right? So you cannot really count it as a unit, but it's called uncountable. Nevertheless, there is a way to assign the idea of quantity to these elements, and those are called quantifiers. Quantifiers are words or ideas that we add to countable and uncountable nouns to give the idea of quantity. With countables, you can say 100, 1,000, dozen, but not with uncountables, right? So how do we count uncountables? Using quantifiers. Also, to count countables, because since countables are easy to count, it's easy to assign quantifiers as well. But it's more for uncountables. It's more usable or more useful for uncountable nouns. For example, you can use words like little, which means a small quantity, but only for uncountables. Few, a small quantity, but only for countables. A lot of, for both countable and uncountable. Many, only for countable. Much, only for uncountable. Any, for both, lots of for both, and some for both. Let's create some examples because just explained like that so quickly, it's not as easy to grasp. So let's take an idea. Olives, right? You can count olives, they are countable. So you can say, I want to buy a few olives. And that would be correct. Nevertheless, you cannot say, I want to buy a few jam. That would be wrong because the quantifier a few or few, you cannot apply it to uncountable nouns. This would be wrong, right? But if you apply the right quantifier, you can use it. For example, to say small quantity of uncountable nouns, you say little. So if you say a little jam, that is correct. Okay? So you need to choose your quantifiers carefully. Now, I'm going to do an activity regarding this. If you check your forums in your LMS Canvas, I have an activity for you. It says produce a SpeakPipe link. Make true sentences with these quantifiers about things you own, have bought, or have been given. The quantifiers are a little, one or two, a couple of, plenty of, a few, several, lots of, some. Then you're going to listen to a classmate's recording and leave a comment. Okay? How do we create these voice recordings? It's always a good idea to review the process. You just go to speakpipe.com to the signing option. You use your email. You use your password. And then you can start recording. You go to the option record. When you are ready to start recording, click on start recording, but don't forget to allow the web page to use your microphone. So start recording and then permitir or allow, it would be in English. You start recording. You make sure you record all you need the whole time. You do your, accomplish your task that I have given you. If there are any technical problems, let me know. I'll try to assist. For now, let's work on that task and then we'll listen a little bit of your recordings so I can give you a little bit of feedback, okay? Okay, so I've noticed some of you have already sent me your recordings. Let's check them. Just a few seconds of each. We cannot use too much of your content here. So just a couple of seconds. This is from Denise. Let's listen just for a few seconds.
Okay, number one, I have a little bit of homework left to finish.
Perfect, right? A little bit of. In our list, a little bit. Little or a little is for uncountable nouns, and homework, as Denise used it, is an uncountable noun. You cannot count homework, right? It's uncountable. So she did perfect, and I am sure the rest of you will do as well. So while we check the rest of the recordings, let's make a break for now, and we'll continue later, okay? Thank you very much.